You guys wanted it, I brought it to you. Today we're looking at the Genesis G80, and this thing is absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, it drives itself from the key fob. Why do we need that? We don't, but I'm gonna tell you why. It's probably one of many cool features on this car. So today we're taking a look at the Genesis G80, and I'm telling you why this thing is going to destroy the luxury car game. Thanks again to Ed Voiles Hyundai and Genesis here in Smyrna, Georgia. They lent me this car. This is actually the only unit in Georgia as of now, and this thing, beautiful. 2.5 turbo prestige model, all-wheel drive. This thing's loaded out. Words can't describe. This thing is gorgeous. So why don't we take a look at this thing? Let's see what it's all about, and I'm gonna tell you why this is gonna change the game. Like I said earlier, if you guys are interested in any new pre-owned Hyundai or Genesis models, give Ed Voiles Hyundai a shout. They'll definitely help you out no matter where you are in the country. Again, a very big thank you to them. They helped me take a look at so many vehicles, just like the Genesis you saw today. There she is. And then the GV80, and then a few more that I'm going to take a look at. So if you guys are in the market, they've got a huge inventory, as you can see, spans a few acres of a lot. So check them out. Link is going to be in the description below. I want to start off with the front end of this car, okay? This is the first time that I truly feel like Genesis has found their identity, right? They're coming out with a design language that is true to their own, and people are instantly recognizing this as Genesis. They have this split headlight design, just like the GV80. It is full LED. You do have these indicators, but they are also are going to be the running lights to the car, okay? They look absolutely fantastic. Makes this car look incredibly upscale, okay? Now, let's go towards the grille. This is their G Matrix grille. That is what Genesis is calling this design language, okay? Their design language is young luxury, but this grille is called their G Matrix grille. Guys, I think this is beautiful. A lot of people are noticing that it is a huge grille, and that indeed it is. It is a huge grille, but because it is such a huge grille, it looks incredibly luxurious. It's finished in this nice chrome. You can see they got the radar brick integrated into the grille like they have the past G80. Surprised they didn't do what they did with the GV80 and put it down here, but I guess it makes sense because you guessed it. Look down here and you have that same grille design. And just like the GV80, down here it's actually black. It's not that same chrome finish, or it doesn't look to be. Might be a darker chrome finish, but I still think it looks fantastic. It brings a lot of substance to the bottom part of the grille, and then you notice the grille is that same kind of jewel diamond shape as the GV80. At the bottom you have this chrome garnish here, and you do have this chrome garnish here that kind of breaks up the black mesh grille. I think that looks really nice. You do have your front parking sensors, as you would expect in a luxury vehicle, and then this Genesis badge, which is just beautiful. It's got a lot of flake in it, feels very nice, metal. So this thing looks amazing, guys. It really does. Genesis is changing the game, and I think they've done very well in probably one of the most competitive luxury vehicle segments, the midsize sedan. So before I get to the rear of the car, I do want to look at this side area here, because just like the GV80, you've got these indicators that go along the side fender here. Instead of putting the indicators into the mirrors like most cars, they've integrated this into the design language of the car. Put that in perspective, guys. The design language of the car is where they're carrying some of the lighting. That is incredible. That just speaks to the kind of culture they're trying to surround this car with. And then look at this chrome detail here. Again, it just gives you that added sense of luxury in this car. And then let's talk about this, right? So this is the wheel set that you're gonna get on the 2.5 turbo Prestige. These are 20-inch wheels, and they look amazing. It's kind of a mesh design that they've gone with here. Wrapped in Michelin tires, of course. It just looks really nice. You got kind of a carbon fiber inlay for the center cap here, but it looks really nice. I'm just really loving this wheel design here. Now, getting to the back of the G80, this thing is just beautiful. Again, going with the culture of the car, the design language that Genesis is trying to implement now. You have that same split design for the lighting here for the taillights. You see you've got your indicators here. The indicators here are kind of a pink reddish color, which is actually really nice. You do have your running lights here that are, again, that kind of hollow look to it. It looks so sharp, super futuristic. Split design, goes into the actual tailgate as well, which I think is always a smart move. But this just looks super, super sharp. Absolutely beautiful. They've done really well. Also, you have this chrome strip back here that also integrates into the rear reflector. The tailpipes, just like the GV80, you can see it's shaped just like the grille. That's kind of their design language, right? It's got a general shape similar to their badge. This is a true dual exit exhaust. It's not a faux exhaust tip. Kudos to you, Genesis. In addition to that, you have kind of a duckbill spoiler built into the back of the car. Really, really neat. Chrome strip. Then you've got the release for the trunk integrated well. G80 badge, Genesis all across the trunk. I always think that's a good idea on luxury cars. You have this reverse light built back into the rear bumper, just like the GV80. Painted strip here, and then you have this black mesh grille back here. And then the all-wheel drive badge, because this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. So why don't we see what's cooking underneath this trunk? Let's step into the trunk of the Genesis. So, like I said, you have this little button here. Press that. It is a power tailgate. In it, you're not going to see something too incredibly noteworthy. You've got a lot of space back here. You do have your emergency release back there. You do have a pass-through, but the rear seats that I'm seeing so far do not seem to fold down, which is very common in this segment, so that's not really anything to bark at. Little pocket here, and then as you can see, floor mats, the books, and then my stuff here on the side, another floor mat, and then underneath you have your spare tire, which is incredibly rare in this segment. Now, you want to just walk away, perfect. Just press that, it releases, then you're good to go in your Genesis G80. So now let's walk to the Genesis G80. I do want to make note that for the entry of the car, you do have keyless entry on the door handle, but you also have Genesis digital key, which you can use via your smartphone if you have an Android, or you'll get a credit card size physical card that you can actually use to unlock the car, start it, and go. So let's get inside and see what makes this the premier luxury vehicle. So the first thing stepping into the Genesis G80 that I want to point out is this Prestige model has soft closed doors. Again, it brings it right on in. Now you're going to notice the design language on the outside meets the inside. So this is a very similar layout to the GV80. So you have a 14.5-inch screen here. It is touchscreen, but you can also use the dial pad here. Notice it's that same crystal shape and finish that you have in the GV80. You have the same riveting design language here. Feels amazing. You have the same controls here. So these are actual scrolling wheels. You have a drive mode button here. You have your camera button and your parking sensors button. You have real open pore wood. Press that. It exposes the two cup holders. You do have a wireless charging pad, but that's also where you would put the digital key. And then this is also going to be touch. So you can play with that all you want, which is really nice. And then this is a digital output for the climate controls. I'm actually going to turn this up because it is incredibly cold. Well, cold for me. 34 degrees is freezing. But here outside of Atlanta. Now, you do have a partially digital cluster, as this is a 2.5T, not the 3.5T. On the left-hand side, you do have the manual gauge cluster, but again, it looks beautiful. It reminds me of something from Aston Martin, or something very English, to be honest. On the right-hand side, it is completely digital. You can see that the numbers actually start at the bottom and will go counterclockwise, which is really nice. And then in the center, you have the display for the actual car with your lane departure warning system, etc., etc. Now, you do have the blind spot view monitor. Okay, that is on this car. On this side, you can see all the metal accents, whether it's for the memory seating, the speaker grills that you can see are just beautiful. I'm actually going to show you on this door, but look at the design of the speaker grill. It's got that interesting etching, absolutely beautiful. The switchgear here is metal, of course. Metal, real wood. On the steering wheel, metal, metal. And then this is plastic, but this is a very soft touch plastic. It feels actually really, really high quality. And then you do have a metal Genesis badge in the center. And then, of course, a leather wrapped steering wheel. Why would you expect anything less from a Genesis? Or any luxury car for that matter. And then this is actually technically a 4-spoke steering wheel, but it has that same kind of 2-spoke design as the GV80. I think it looks amazing. Some people disagree. Everybody has their opinions. You do have paddle shifters to row your gears through this 8-speed automatic transmission if you want. They feel very nice. They are metal in finish. And then the wiper stalk edges are metal as well. Same thing with the lights. Just looks amazing. Now, frameless mirror. Look at this thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Frameless auto dimming mirror. You have the home link on the bottom. And then up here, you've got that same reflective finish. Look at the design on the inside of the lights. Look at that. Touch it, boom. You can also press the hard buttons and you can see it just illuminates everything. It just looks like you're in a 5-star hotel in here. And then you do have a panoramic sunroof. Looks absolutely beautiful in here. The seats, full leather. You see you've got, I don't want to call it diamond stitching, but you can see it's very, very intricate. Hand stitched. You've got the contrast piping on it. Power seats, of course, for both driver and passenger. And then you have extra soft floorboards, carpeting, etc., etc. So this thing is beautiful. Look at the lines on the dash, just straight across. The vents are very well hidden. Just beautiful. All the buttons here, metal finish. Start stop button, metal finish, but you have that same rivet and circular texture that you have here. Absolutely beautiful. And then look at this. So you can slide that, and then you've got your apps here that you can choose, valet mode, seat, climate, I mean everything that you'd want. I mean map. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. So many things. I mean, shoot, with the seats you've got the same idea here. Adjust the front seat, passenger seat. Oh, that was a scroll for this guy. But look at that. Seat recline, custom height, cushion tilt, everything. Beautiful. I want to make note for the controls, right? So of course you've got your lumbar support, you've got your thigh extender, you do have your normal front and back, your seat, recline and decline. But look at this, you've got your ergo motion seats, so it applies pressure to various parts of the seat while you're driving, almost like a massage function, so that way it reduces fatigue while driving. Now, when you're in the back of the Genesis G80, there is quite a bit of space. Now, I will make note, this car does have a fastback shaped roofline, so headspace seems to be a little less, but me being 5'9", I still have more than enough space back here. Perfectly fine for a grown adult. If you have kids, obviously it's going to be even better. And then, as you can see, the front seat is where I would normally have it seated, and you can see I've got a ton of leg room here. I'm not complaining at all. Very good place to be. Why don't we see what's actually going on back here so your rear passengers could get a taste of this luxury? So getting in the back of the G80, let's talk about the climate controls. So you do have hard buttons here. They feel very nice. It's a gloss black trim, but looks really nice. Of course, you got metal surrounding the vents. In the back here, you have that same seat control as the GV80, so you can move the passenger front seat from the back seat. Now, you have the center control stack here, so you can turn on your rear heated seats, adjust the rear sunshade. It is going to be a rear power sunshade. The sunshades on the side in this model are going to be manual, but you do have them. You have the same beautiful speaker grills as you do the front. In addition to that, on the doors, you've got that metal finish for the lock and unlock and for the actual window button. You have that same metal finish on the handles and that rear real wood. Looks fantastic. And look at that. That sunroof just goes all the way back here. Just looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Very well done, Genesis. I'm even impressed by, look at this light. beautiful. And look at the design on the inside. They could have skipped out on that, but to them, it was important. Love it. Well done, Genesis. One thing I wanted to point out is for this car, if you put it in reverse, you have that same surround view camera system, but you also have that same surround view in the car. It is a Genesis G80, and look at this. You can actually look all the way around the car like it's a video game. Absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely in love with this system, and yes, it works just like the GV80s. So it shows you in real time as you move the car. Absolutely bonkers. Alright, so now we are in the G80, not to be confused with the GV80. So they're definitely getting their naming scheme down, which is definitely in tandem with their new culture within the brand. So I was talking earlier about the culture and their design language. I truly feel like Genesis has found their identity, and I feel like they are running with it, and it's amazing. And you're seeing that on the inside of the car as well. So as you guys can see, I'm with Reid again. He's along for the test drive. Again, this is the only G80 in the state of Georgia. It is actually a demo unit for now. It will be up for sale very shortly, as we're putting some good mileage on it, which is what this car needs, because these cars are made to be driven. And the reason why I think that is, as much as this car offers in terms of luxury, it definitely feels like a sports car. Okay, the suspension is firm, but it's not harsh, which is definitely perfect. And in addition to that, this steering, I just can't get enough of this steering. This steering is the perfect weight. It's in comfort mode right now, and this car feels very weighted, very direct. And if you put this thing in a sport mode, I'm talking, the steering gets so much heavier and so direct. It's fantastic. The road noise in here is almost nothing. You're very excluded from the outside world. You feel the luxury, which is something not a lot of car companies can say, especially startup car companies. Genesis has been their separate brand since late 2015, and people were kind of hesitant about them at first, but can't say that anymore. These cars mean business, and the price point that you can get these cars is insane. This one is practically fully loaded. It's got the 4-cylinder engine, but it still has more than enough power, and this thing stickers at about 60 grand. Absolutely mental, considering this car looks like it costs 3 times more than that easily. Now let's talk powertrain. So this is the 2.5T, so it is a 4-cylinder with a turbo attached to it. Puts out a hefty 300 horsepower, about 311 foot-pounds of torque. So this thing has a lot of grunt to it. Made it to an 8-speed transmission. This transmission I'm a huge fan of. GV80 has it as well, and it is incredibly quick. It feels honestly like a dual clutch. It's that quick, but it's also incredibly smooth. You don't even feel the shifts. And it's so responsive. Like, it's ridiculously responsive. No matter where you want to be, the car will bring you there. It's absolutely amazing. Now, one thing I will say is, on the outside, this car looks very, very large, but once you step on the inside, you realize that this is not a full-size sedan. It is truly a mid-size sedan, and it feels like the perfect size. It's not too small, it's not too big. If you want something big, you can go to a G90, you know, something like that. If you want something smaller, they got the G70, which is perfect. But this car is a beautiful balance of both. Perfect amount of space, for me at least. And this thing just opulent. I love it. For the first hoorah for the Genesis brand, they've aced this. Absolutely aced this. I can't imagine how much interest you guys have for this car at the dealership.
It is a lot of interest, and we have people coming in every day to just drive it, because it is one of the only cars in the state of Georgia. And
man, this thing is just, I'm impressed. I'm more so impressed with the performance aspect of this car, because you look at it, it looks very luxurious. Doesn't necessarily look incredibly sporty, except for the body lines. But when you drive this thing, you feel every essence of the sportiness. It's amazing. I'm so smitten by this car. And then with that blind spot view monitor, it's like, what is a blind spot? You don't have one in this car. You just don't. Digital display is beautiful. This 14.5-inch screen is just massive, but it's horizontally aligned, which is beautiful. If it was any other way, I think it would look terribly misplaced, but it just goes with the lines of the interior. And the interior quality, man, it's beautiful. You got this hand-stitched leather on the dash. The seats are incredibly comfortable. They're very firm, but they still just put you in a very, very ergonomic situation. I mean, you just feel very comfortable in these seats. I could easily drive this car for 12 hours straight and not be fatigued. I mean, not that it matters, because you got the ergo notion, is that what it's called? So it moves the seat around anyways to keep you from being fatigued anyways. It's almost like a little mini massage. Really, really nice. And then visibility in the car is actually amazing, because this windshield, the way that it wraps around you is really nice. And you got these small little quarter windows. And the panoramic roof, one thing you did make note of, that pano is heavily tinted. Yes. Which I wonder if they did that so that way it doesn't let in too much light.
Yes, I think they did.
See, that's a small attention to detail that like most companies will not go for.
Yeah, you really do not feel the heat up here from the sunroof, even open.
Yeah, definitely not. Holy cow. And everything in here is real. All the metal, it's real metal. The crystal's real. The leather obviously is real. Hand stitched. They did not cut corners on this car at all.
No.
I truly believe that this car is going to take the luxury car world by storm.
We think so. We think so. It's a beautiful car, and just the fit and finish of it is just first class, and you really just have to drive it to see.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And this 4-cylinder, I mean, yes, it's got all the power, etc., but it's so smooth. So smooth. You don't really have turbo lag, which is what most turbo 4-cylinders give you. So they fine-tuned that perfectly fine in this car. And then even when you're sitting at a red light, you don't even hear it.
Just how quiet the car is. The cabin is just so super quiet.
It's serene. And then if you want to listen to something, you've got this 21 speaker Lexicon sound system, which these speaker grills are gorgeous.
Yeah, they did a great job with these, with the metal.
Yeah, the etchings are just, ooh. I'm so smitten by this car. They've done an incredible job here. I truly do think they aced this. Man. So when do you think you're getting more of these in? Do you know?
Well, we're still waiting on that. This one we'll have for a little while as a demo. And then we were expecting these in January, February, and we actually got this one in as a demo for people to drive. So,
jeez. Under promise and over deliver, right?
That's right.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't tell you guys how thankful I am to get this opportunity, because as of right now, nobody would even see this car except for you guys, obviously.
Right. And
for me to be able to actually get my hands on this, get behind the wheels, you know, I'm incredibly thankful. So again, thank you to Ed Voiles Hyundai/Genesis here in Smyrna, Georgia. Thank you, Reid. You've been a huge help in this, man. You guys treat me like royalty every time I go in there. It's unreal. You know, thanks to Keith, he's in management at Ed Voiles. You know, he's been a huge help and obviously very gracious for letting me get behind the wheels of these cars. You know, so if you guys are in the market for a Hyundai, Genesis, or even a pre-owned car, you know, the link is going to be in the description. Reid's details are also going to be in the description. Hit these guys up. They help people all over the nation. How many out-of-state deals do you do?
Oh my gosh, I sell all over the Southeast. I delivered a Genesis up in Washington, D.C. a few months ago. It's
right. So doesn't matter what state you're in, they can definitely help you out. And obviously they're going to be one of the first, if not the first, to have these cars on the lot. So if you guys want one of them, check out the description below. The link will be to their website, and you'll have direct connection to Reid. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next review.